Full transparency, I haven't read a single one of the books I'm about to talk about. And you may be asking yourself, what kind of fool buys 95% of an author's catalog and doesn't bother reading one of the books in it? And to that I would say, a fool who graduated high school with a 2.2 grade point average and who currently drives a 2015 Honda Accord he inherited from his grandmother, and I don't have to take shit from anyone, least of all you. Honestly, what happened is, there was a man I once knew who was a good man, and when he passed away, his wife essentially gifted me all of his books. So, apology accepted. This is my Tom Robbins collection. Speaking of dead people, Tom Robbins passed away earlier this year, but he did leave behind quite the legacy. First up, from 1971, we have Another Roadside Attraction, and I love this cover. From what I do know about this, the general consensus is that there's a lot going on at once, which seems to be the case with a lot, if not all, of Tom Robbins' novels. Someone's being held hostage, another person's in the circus, two people fall in love and run away together, they move into an abandoned restaurant and turn it into a hot dog stand / petting zoo and flea circus, and then there's an earthquake at the Vatican, the damage from which reveals the mummified corpse of Jesus Christ. Sound insane? Well, you should read a book called The Bible. Next up, we have Still Life with Woodpecker, and another great cover. The theme of this is metaphysical outlawism, and it's often referred to as a postmodern fairy tale. And if you don't know what any of those terms mean, just know that I Googled them seconds ago. From Wikipedia, the novel encompasses a broad range of topics from aliens and redheads to consumerism, the building of bombs, romance, royalty, the moon, and a pack of Camel's cigarettes. This was published in 1980, and it has a great picture of Tom Robbins on the back. The next one I have for you is Jitterbug Perfume, and I feel like this might be his most widely known novel only because it's the one I see referenced most often. Please don't crucify me if that's not the case. No, his best known work is Another Roadside Attraction. This novel follows two interweaving plot lines, one taking place in ancient Eurasia, the other taking place in the present day in this case being the early 1980s. From Wikipedia, the story connects dueling performers in Seattle, Paris, and New Orleans to a bottle of incomparable perfume created by two unlikely but defiant lovers of the past who seek immortality, orchestrated by a mysterious Irish philosopher. The past and the present collide when the characters come together and discover the unexpected path to life everlasting. No, I'm kidding. Again, I've heard this book referenced a lot, and I've heard good things about it, so it'll probably be the first one I read by Tom Robbins. Also, I would be absolutely remiss to not show you the picture of Tom Robbins and his legs on the back of this book. Speaking of legs, we now enter the 1990s with Skinny Legs and All. This is the story of an Arab and a Jew who open a restaurant together across the street from the United Nations. What could go wrong? Then in 1994, Bantam published Half Asleep in Frog Pajamas. I'll be honest, I don't see myself ever reading this one just because I hear it's extremely complicated even as Tom Robbins novels go. I hear there's a ton of complex characters and I have a hard enough time keeping track of all the voices in my head. Also, a fun fact about this book, it is written in the second person, which is unusual for a book to be written in the second person. You're making a video about Tom Robbins books. You're holding a Tom Robbins book. You put the Tom Robbins book down. You're doing all of this to give an example of second person writing. That's essentially what second person writing sounds like. We now enter the aughts with Fierce Invalids from Hot Climates. And if you ever want to see what a guy on cocaine looks like, just look no further than the back of this book. From Wikipedia, Switters is a contradiction for all seasons, an anarchist who works for the government, a pacifist who carries a gun, a vegetarian who sops up ham and gravy, a cyber whiz who hates computers, a man who, though obsessed with the preservation of innocence, is aching to deflower his high school-age stepsister. I'm sorry, is this my autobiography? Many people call this his funniest work, so it'll be a toss-up between this and Jitterbug Perfume when I finally do dive into Tom Robbins' work. The last Tom Robbins novel I have is Villa Incognito. This came out in 2003. It's a commentary on the Vietnam War and a response to 9/11. From Wikipedia, it begins with the story of Tanuki, an ancient Japanese badger-like creature who possesses the ability to shapeshift and a penchant for sake and women. I mean, who doesn't like sake? Tanuki is a semi-god with an unusually large scrotum. The novel is set in the present day, and its title refers to a house in Laos inhabited by 3 American Air Force pilots who have been missing since the Vietnam War. Following the arrest of one of the MIAs for trafficking drugs while dressed as a priest, the novel depicts American life in a post-9/11 context. And there's another picture on the back of this. You know what's funny? This is like the morning after. Whereas this is like the night before. This is like when you're doing all the cocaine, and this is when you wake up and realize how much cocaine you did. I've read about those scenarios. Yeah, I've seen movies. Those are all the Tom Robbins novels I have, but I do have his first collection of short stories, essays, poems, and reviews, all of which appeared in Playboy and Esquire and the New York Times. This is Wild Ducks Flying Backwards. Backwards? Backward. This is Wild Ducks Flying Backward. I actually have read a few of the poems in this, and I did rather enjoy them. I stopped by Satan's house. I just happened to be in the neighborhood. Satan came downstairs in a Raiders jacket. His aura was like burnt rubber, but his grin could paint a sunrise on a coal shed wall. "I see you've met Desiree and Fulfillment," he said, polishing his monocle with a blood-flecked rag. "Regret is in the kitchen making coffee." Okay, we did it. That's my Tom Robbins collection. Again, I've read not a one of those. So if you've read them, if you read one of them or all of them and you enjoyed them, please let me know which one I should pick up first. Maybe I'll add it to my very long TBR for this year. Subscribe if you will, share if you dare. Thank you for watching.